no, what I'm going to do, well, firstly, can everybody see okay? Yes, don't. I'll try and scroll the page up so you can see the bottom. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do the entire exam, including section A, because the other students missed that. So I'll just quickly go through section A. And the students who missed the class with the section A are not allowed to ask me any questions that they might have for section A. So I'm just going to do it quickly so it's recorded, and then move on to the section B. Okay. So the first question in section A was for 3 marks, and it was to differentiate a function. You had y equal to x squared sine x over 1 plus ex. Move this a bit, sorry. Okay. So what rules do I need here? Quotient rule and product rule. And which rule should I use first? Quotient rule. So the quotient rule says it's the bottom squared times the derivative of the top. And the derivative of the top is a product rule. So first the derivative of x squared, followed by the derivative of sine x, which is cos x. Sorry. Oh no, pad. Okay. That's a cos x at the end. Now, this question here, is a 3-mark question. And I think it's a straightforward 3 marks because, look, you can do the answer in one line direct. Okay, so number 2 now. I'll scroll down. That was the question.
Yeah.
And you'll have access to that, and this is the answer then, how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
There's an EX at the end.
Yeah.
Sorry, I ran out of space.
No, it's x sine ax. It's minus, no, top place. You need to do minus.
Bottom times, yeah, I'm out of space. Now how am I going to fit it in? Yes, but I ran out of space. Right, well, I'll just remove this so I can write it again, but you don't need to remove it, okay? We'll go back in time.
If it
Okay.
doesn't say, it usually says, no need of simplifying.
Yeah, it says here, don't simplify it.
Okay. But if it doesn't say, you just need to get something.
No, even if it doesn't say, I wouldn't simplify it, unless you need it for a following part. Minus the top times the derivative of the bottom.
But won't that be incomplete if we just kept it this way?
This way?
Yeah.
This is full marks. Yeah, because it says not to simplify. Alright, next part now. So for 3 marks, you need to show that y equal to x cubed minus ex plus 2 has a root between x's 4 and 5. So firstly you calculate this when it's 4, and then you calculate it when it's 5. You put x is 4 and x is 5. So if I have a calculator there, we can calculate this.
And negative 21.4.
This 4 is which?
11.4.
And then next one?
Negative 21.4.
So because the sign changes, that implies a root in between. X equals 2 and, sorry, not 2, 4 and 5. Yeah.
Do we have to say fx equal to 0? There has to be root at the point x equal to 0.
Say again?
Do we have to show that at point fx there is a root, fx equal to 0?
Well, that's what I did. I showed that there's a root between 4 and 5, but I didn't find the root.
Yeah, but, so that's all, yeah?
That's it finished now.
Sign is different.
Yeah. Now, please note, this question has 3 marks. Most likely because there's 1 mark for the 4, 1 mark for the 5, and 1 mark for your comment. Okay? So it's important to look at the marks, just like you're told this in biology too, to look at the marks to help decide, have I done enough for this question? Like for example in semester 1, I think when you do a matrix inverse or multiplication it's like 4 marks, because it's 1 for each corner. Okay, number 3. We want to solve dy over dx equal to cos x over 2y. So what I'll do now is your cross multiplication. 2y dy equals cos x dx, and then you integrate both sides. On the left you get y squared, and on the right you get sine x plus c. So you get the answer y equals plus or minus square root sine x plus c. And in fact, as far as I remember, the marking scheme doesn't require you to have the plus or minus in there, but there really is a plus or minus possibility here too. And that was 4 marks. And again, just like question 2 and question 3, we've already gotten 7 marks for doing very little. And the same would go for question 4 as well, actually. So I need to go to a new page now.
So you can easily get marks from these questions.
From the section A ones, I'll tell you which ones are the difficult to get marks in. This one here is good. fx equals 3.5 sine 3 pi x. Now, just to make note, I don't have a question like this from last year. I don't have last year's paper, but they had something similar to this, but they changed it a little bit. I'll just make a remark about that. But anyways, doing this one first, he wants to know, or she wants to know, is it even or odd? Well, if you just remember, the definition of even and odd is an even function's like this, that's the same on both sides, and an odd function might be something like this, that's the same in opposite corners. So when you think about the graph for sine x, the graph is like this, which means it's the same in opposite corners. Whereas cos x, it's the same on both sides. So sine is an odd function. And then some vocabulary here. This part is called the amplitude, which he asks you for. So the answer is the amplitude is 3.5. And then he wants to know what the period is. And you get that from looking at this piece, which if you remember is called the B.
2 pi over 3.
Yeah, 2 pi over 3 pi here. So the formula for the period is, 2 pi over the B, which is 3 pi. So the period is 2 over 3. Now, the part about the period and the amplitude, they might keep that the same. But just to make note of what could be different, they don't have to ask sine here. 1 second. They don't have to ask sine here. They could ask something like x squared, x cubed, or they could ask something like sine 2x plus 30 or whatever. My point is, the way you answer it is by looking at the graph. And if you don't know the graph, you need to take out your calculator, use the table mode on your calculator, and look at the graph between, I'd say, minus 5 and 5. And do a rough sketch if you don't know. Okay? Likewise, in the exam, you can use a graphing calculator. And if you know how to draw graphs on the calculator, you could use it here. Yes?
How we know if it's even?
You just said it.
I've just been saying. What's the difference between even and odd?
Yeah.
Even is when it's the same in both. There's a mirror here, and it's the same on both sides.
Oh.
Basil, wait. You're too late to enter the class.
Next one?
Yes. What were you saying?
Difference. I mean, okay.
Yeah, look. Odd has to be like this. They're the same in the opposite corners.
Okay.
Whereas even is like this. They're the same on both sides.
Okay.
That's the difference. Okay, so that's 4 done. And that was 4 marks. Now on to 5. So in number 5, they want to know what is tan 2a, and they give you cos A. They say cos A is negative 15 over 17. So the formula is tan 2a equals 2 tan A over 1 minus tan squared A. Now, tan is opposite over adjacent. Let me go down a bit. Now, this is opposite over adjacent. Sorry, opposite over adjacent over hypotenuse. So this is the adjacent here. So I'll put a minus 15 in the denominator. And how can I get the opposite? I use Pythagoras. I draw the triangle. So what is the opposite side going to be? If you use Pythagoras, it's 8, yeah. This ends up being like an 8, 15, 17 triangle. So an 8 goes here. And if you just hit that in on the calculator, you get the answer, please.
Negative 240 over 161.
Negative 240 over
161.
161. Okay.
David,
Yes.
for the formula, is it the formula book?
Tan 2a is.
Sir, what's it?
Now, I should just point out, it doesn't matter what the sign is here because it's squared.
No.
It does matter what the sign is here. So there is a plus minus possibility in your answer. And you have to look at what they say about the angle. And they say that A is between 0 and 180. And you want to find the exact value of tan 2a. So that means 2a will be less than 360. Now, I don't think you have to worry too much about the sign here, because your answer will either be a plus or a minus. The thing you have to be careful about, if you take out your calculator, just do cos inverse minus 15 over 17. Could you type that in, please?
But they gave your restriction.
Yeah, but can you just type in cos inverse minus 15 over 17 and tell me what you get?
But it is actually plus, yeah. The final answer is 240 over
Well, hang on.
161.
That comes out as a positive on the calculator.
I know, but it cos A.
What can I just check what is cos inverse, please, minus 15 over 17? Can someone tell me it?
151.
No, come on now, guys. Ali, get off the phone, please. Are you using the calculator? Do you have it yet? Come on, Albert, what is it, please? 151. Yes? Did you get that? Also, so is that less than 180?
Yes.
Yes. So there's no sign change you need to make to that. Okay? Now, just to check your answer is right, take that and multiply it by 2. So what do you get? Something like 300 and something.
303.
Now what's the tan of that? And you can check if you need the plus or the minus. If it should match up exactly with that. Well, if you do a decimal, you know. So what's the tan of that? It came out on the calculator as minus 240 over 161. Guys, I want everybody to take their calculator out.
Yes.
No, I'm not continuing unless everybody has their calculator out. And if you don't have your calculator, tell me why you're coming to class without a calculator. If you have your phone, I want the calculator opened, okay? I'm not going to do all the work today. So is the answer positive or negative? Negative. So we're right to keep the negative here.
So just we just look at the data or A.
My advice is, if you don't know what the sign is at the end, check roughly on the calculator what it should be. But you can't use the calculator to go straight to the end here. You have to use the formula. But the calculator can check if you have the correct sign at the end.
How do you check?
I just did that.
Cosine what you said?
No, I'm not repeating myself, okay? I just said that. Explained it to be.
But I don't understand what you did. You did cosine inverse of the thing.
Yes. And then I'm... Listen carefully to me, okay? And then, yes, multiplied it by 2. And then what do I do? And then I did the tan. Okay? So he got it and they got it. So you're not listening to me.
I was listening, but I don't get how that explains to you.
Because at the end, he got the same answer as the answer he got there.
So you multiply by 2 and you take the tan of that in all cases? It's like a rule or something?
No.
How did
You
know
can...
what to do?
There's a question.
That's my question. how do you know what to do?
That's the question that's written there.
I know it's cosine inverse of the answer, and then you multiply by 2.
My friend here has it.
How can you not have it?
How could you not have it? Okay? So I need to move on. You'll have to ask one of your classmates, but it seems like people here have it, yes? Yes, okay. I'm sorry, but I have to be cruel on this occasion. Just because, you know, this I feel confident that
Future.
future here, yes. Okay. 6 now. Angle between two vectors. So, look, I'm already on number 6. The first vector is 2, 3, minus 1. And the second vector is 3, minus 1, minus 4. And he wants the angle between them. So what formula do I use? Yeah, use my cos one. So cos theta, what do I put on the top?
The product.
The dot product. So that's 6 minus 3 plus 4 over square root 14.
So I think it's minus.
And 26.
No, Jeff, I think it's
It's right, it's right.
it's right, plus 4. 9 once 26, yeah? Okay, so therefore what does theta approximately equal using your calculator?
68.4.
68.4 degrees. Okay. Next now. Well, I'll give you a moment just to write that. That was 5 marks, that angle one. And that cos A1 was 4 marks. So you see, already from section A, we have, what's it about, except for 12, 7. Yeah, there's only 17 marks left. So for section A, we have all except 17 marks. The next one is partial fractions. So that is number 7.
Would all the questions in section A be direct, like those?
Direct calculations, yeah, there should be no complications to them. There should be straightforward. So you have 3x minus 19, over x plus 2 times x minus 3 equals a over x plus 2 bx minus 3. Now, we do our multiplication. We multiply everything by this denominator. So every single term gets multiplied by these two. What will happen is, yeah, terms will cancel and you'll be left with this. 3x minus 19 equals a x minus 3 plus b x plus 2. So when you multiply each 3 of the fractions by this denominator, you'll be left with this. Then you choose values of x. So what should I make x equal to?
3.
Make it equal to 3, so I get 9 minus 19 equals 5b. Therefore, b equals minus 10 divided by 5 minus 2. Yep. And then what's the next value I should make for x? Minus 2. So I get minus 6 minus 19 equals minus 5a. Therefore, that's minus 25 over minus 5. So a equals 5, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. And so there you go, there's another 5 marks for you. So in fact there's only 12 marks left from section A. The next question is 6 marks, and it is definitely the most difficult 6 marks to get in section A. The next one, okay? So this is definitely the most difficult of your marks to get. It's integrate from 2 to 3 x 2x minus 5 power 5 dx, and you're told that the u equals 2x minus 5.
Power 2.
Say again?
Power 2 or 5?
Power 5.
No, it was 2 yesterday.
There's no power.
If there, okay, well in that case, I guess I'm doing a slightly different version of what I did last time. What happens is there's different versions of each exam, so you just change the numbers.
But all the values up until now are the same.
Hmm?
Everything is the same up until now.
Okay, well then I guess they just changed maybe the last two or something.
Okay, fine, that's fine.
Same idea anyways. Anyways, what you should do like last time is you can get du dx equals 2. So that means dx equals du over 2. And also you should rewrite this to get x. So I could say u plus 5 over 2. I could say that equals x if I do a little bit of rearranging. Now, substitute all of this information into my question. This becomes 2, 3. The x becomes u plus 5 over 2. That becomes u, 5, and the dx becomes du over 2. Can't see the bar at the side. Okay. I'll take that 2 and 2 out. No, I'll take just the one, just this 2 outside, and then I'll multiply this in, so I get u6. No, I'll take both 2's out, yeah. So I get u6 plus 5u5 du. So what I did there was I took this 2 and this 2 out in the front, and then I multiply this by these 2, and it gave me u6 plus 5u5. Now I can do the integration. It's 1 over 4 u7 over 7 plus 5u6 over 6. And I need to go to the next page now. But I should substitute back in what the u is. So who can tell me what the u is? Yeah, what was it? 2x? 2x minus 5 power 7 over 7 plus 5 2x minus 5 power 6 over 6. And what are the two limits? 2 and 3. So this is where you get out the calculator. So someone give me the calculator, please.
It will become like 1, 1.
They put in. Oh yeah, because when you put in the 3, it's 6 minus 5. Yeah, so it'll just be.
I think the answer is 44 or 28.
1 over 7 plus 5 over 6 minus, and then when you put in 2 you get minus 1, so you get minus 1 over 7 and then plus 5 over 6. Yeah? Let's see now, what'll happen is that will cancel that, so that's 1 over 4 and then 2 over 7.
Sir, this step we do with calculator.
Yes, do you see a calculator in my hand?
It's 41 over 84.
Well then I've done it wrong then.
Or maybe I don't know. No, this is the final thing. Oh, but I did it for minor steps.
I would like to know, since I don't have a calculator, could you check this please? No, you do it on the calculator
Oh, okay. Give me.
and fix the tap. You know, Mohammed knows the rule too.
Yeah. 1 minute, sir. I will give me 2 minutes and I will find the answer.
Well, yeah, it's right. It's right.
You're right. It's right.
It's right?
Yeah, it's right.
So خلاص, no, accept the fact you're always right.
Not always right. What worries me is I'm right and I don't have a calculator in my hand. That's what worries me. Worries me for you, that is.
Oh, so now you're showing off.
No.
We're smart too.
My point is, I shouldn't be superior than a classroom of students with calculators.
But again, we're
I
still
shouldn't be. Okay, number 9 now. So the last one is probably the easiest 6 marks, which is just the statistic one.
Number 8 was 6 marks as well.
This one was number 6, this last one, but that's a difficult 6 compared to what we've been doing. And this next one, statistics, is an easy 6. So the numbers are 86, 51, 34, 92, 71, 38, 28, 46, 71, 59, 38, 61, 78, 32. And he wants the median and interquartile range. So we have to put these numbers in order. So what's first?
28,
32.
Not
28. So let me scratch them out as I go along. What's next?
32,
Is there just one of them?
yes,
Next?
34,
Now, actually, let me try and squish this in. 32, 34.
38, 38.
Where's 34? And there's two 38s?
38, yeah. And then 46, 51.
Right, let me scratch out 40.
So this question is hidden.
There, 51, there. 59, 61.
59, 61.
And
Then
then
two 71s, yeah.
70,
71, 71,
78,
78,
86, 92.
A6, 92. That's a 61, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it 60?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's them all taken care of. So the first one is the median. So what do you do for the median? It's the one in the middle. So you could just, cancel through. So, 1, how many have I got in total? 1,
So you
two,
51.
3, huh?
Until 51.
Okay. Well, is there, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, so it's an odd number, whereas last time was an even number.
It's the same thing.
So-
31 plus 59 are
No, if there's an odd number, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
13,
Oh.
14.
Who said there was? Okay. There's 14. So we split it into 7 and 7. So doing that now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So is the split down here?
Yes.
Okay, so that means our median will be based off of these two numbers, the middle of the two. So add them and divide by 2. So the median is 51 plus 59 over 2, which is 55. Now, the lower quartile, it's actually not much different. In fact, it's almost identical. You just take the middle of the lower half. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the middle number of 7 numbers is the fourth number. The reason it's the middle is because you have 3 here, and then 3 here, so this one is the middle number, and then likewise 3 there and 3 there, so 71 is the middle. So the lower is 38, and then the upper quartile is 71, and the range is the difference between the two. 71 minus 38, what's that? 40, 50, 60, 33?
Yes.
And that is the range, or well, more precisely, it's the interquartile range. Just be careful with vocabulary here. This is the interquartile range, so I should actually put an I here. That's slightly different to the range. What's the range? Does anybody know?
Maximum.
Yeah, the maximum minus the minimum is the range. The interquartile range is the upper minus the lower. That caught out some students 2 years ago about where they actually asked for the range and students gave the interquartile range. So there is a distinction between the two.
Can you repeat the range? How is it?
No, I'm not repeating it because it looks like you're kind of on your phone there. Yeah, so please don't be rude and ask me to repeat something because you weren't listening.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't.
No, you're making it worse if you continue now. Yes? The lower quartile is the middle number in the lower half. So in the lower half you have 7 numbers. The middle of 7 numbers is the fourth number. Same logic for the upper.
And those are easy 6
That's an easy 6. So if I look at section A, I know you're supposed to do all in section A, but
Yeah, but
if you were pressed for time, the question you would sacrifice in A would be number 8.
because it's a hard.
because the substitution one. And the questions you want to definitely do well to make sure you get full marks is the statistics, the partial fractions, and the angle between the vectors. And number 2, where I ask you to show there's a root. Those 4 questions, I can't actually see why doing those 4 questions should take more than 10 minutes. Like, you could probably do it in 5 minutes.
How much is the time for the one?
I'd say section A you should try to do in 40 minutes.
No, I mean the one math
It's
exam.
2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to section B now, yes?
Just one question.
Yes.
Should we just do them 2, 6, and 9? And what was the last one? Because you said 4 questions.
No, what I was...
The vectors, the...
No, I'm saying the ones you definitely should make
Yeah.
sure are perfect because you should get full marks.
Statistics.
Anything with statistics, anything with partial fractions, anything with vectors, and anything about showing the root. So like if I look at those, that was 3 and 5 is 8, and another 5, 13, and 6, 19. So that's nearly half the section A in what I consider to be 5 or 10 minutes work, 19%, okay? Sometimes students spend too much time on section A. Get what you can from section A, move on to section B. It's worth it, yeah. Okay, section B now. So, I'm looking at the 6 questions in section B, and I'm thinking, what 6 will I do, or what 4 will I do from this one? Number 1, derivatives, yes. Number 2 with the functions, yes. Number 3, probably not. It's quite a lot of calculus. Number 4 with the vectors, yes. Number 5, yeah, if you like number 5, do it, and number 6, definitely. So, for this paper, please don't talk when I'm talking. Do you have a question? No. In section B, the way I see it, so can you write this down? You want to do 1, 2, 6, for sure. 1, 2, and 6. And then you choose, really, you're choosing between the vectors, which is number 4, and the Newton-Raphson, which is number 5. But either way, you're doing 1, 3, and 6. So I'm going to do 1, 3, and 6 first. Okay? So number 1 is derivatives here. So in the first one here, you're given part 1. I'm just continuing with the section B of the same paper, which is the ones I think I did with you. Yeah, this is the same one. 3 sine y plus 4 cos y equals xy plus x squared. And he says, show that it crosses, show that it crosses the x-axis at x equals plus or minus 2. So in other words, show that they're roots. So if they're roots, what are the y value? 0. So in fact, and again, this is something that caught people out, but all you're really doing is show that these 2 points, when substituted into the equation, work. They hold true. So putting this one in first, that's 3 sine 0 plus 4 cos 0 equals 0 plus 4. When you substitute it in, the first point. This one here. And you see on the left you get 4, and on the right you get 4. You get 4 equals 4, so it's true. And then I'll put this one in. 3 sine 0 plus 4 cos 0 equals 0 plus 4. I get 4 equals 4 again. So that's 2 marks. Again, I think what confused people here is that they thought they had to do more than they did, but if you look at the marks, 2 marks, and you can guess how you get the 2 marks, 1 for each one. Next one is 6 marks. Quite a good 6 marks. They just want the derivative. So what type of derivative will we need here?
Sir, did you repeat it twice?
No, I didn't, but they just look very similar because one is only a negative. In fact, the equations will be identical because the negative gets squared away. Implicit derivative is the next one. So what's the derivative of 3 sine y? Is 3 cos y times dy dx plus, well, what's actually the derivative of 4 cos? Is minus, yeah, dy dx. And then xy, what rule do I need for xy? Product rule.
Yeah.
So derivative of x is 1, y, plus then derivative of y, which is 1, but then a dy dx. And then derivative of x squared, your regular 2x. So if I group my dy dx's together, I get 3 cos y minus 4 sine y, and then take that to the left, minus x dy dx. And then I'm just left with on the right y plus 2x. So division now, dy dx equals y plus 2x divided by 3 cos y minus 4 sine y minus x.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
The y prime.
Yes.
You're supposed to put it when you find the derivative of a y. Okay?
Yeah.
But in this case, you put it beside an x.
No, I'm using the product rule here, and the derivative of y was the 1 actually. So it's gone beside the 1 here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? Yanni? Now, that's part 2 done, and that was 6 marks. And then the next one is find the tangents at the 2 points. And so in fact, we need to calculate the 2 slopes. So firstly, I put in the point, what was it, 2, 0. So I get y is 0 and x is 2.
What's question 3 again?
Getting the tangents at the 2 points. So first I'm getting the slopes. And then you have 3 cos 0 minus 4 sine 0 minus 2, which equals minus 2. And then the slope at the other point will be exactly the same, except x is minus 2. So when you look at that, I'll call that point A actually, and I'll call that point B if you want. What's the only thing that changes? Well, this here will become negative 4. But this here will become positive 2. So in fact nothing changes, it will still be the same slope of minus 2. Which is fine. It just means the tangents are parallel, which is wrong actually. Because they want to know where they meet. So I've made a sign mistake here. Y is 0, x is 2. Okay, can you...
Should one be positive or negative?
Which, the slopes or the x's?
Slopes.
Not necessarily, it doesn't have to match perfectly like that.
But how are they the same slope? You can't have the same slope.
No, you can't have the same slope, they shouldn't be the same slope.
Yeah.
Can you double check my signs here? Derivative of 3 sine is 3 cos. Derivative of 4 cos is minus 4 sine. Derivative of xy is y plus x
2x.
dy dx plus 2x. So what I did was I grouped together some terms. I put dy dx, that's it there, and then this one here, that's it there, and then that one came over, that's it there, and then on the left I'm left with 2x plus y.
How about the y?
It's still there.
Sir, but there is
dy
3x.
over dx.
You don't have derivative of the y.
There was no dy dx on this or on this. So what I did was I just kept them on the right. That's them there. And then I divide.
Excuse
Yeah.
me. Sir, there is x dy dx. What about that?
Remove it to the left side.
This
No, go up.
The one you remove it with minus x.
here,
Yeah, this one.
I bring it to the left.
So
That's it there now.
Oh,
5 minutes, Basil. Yeah?
okay. Perfect.
Well, not really. So let's just take out the calculator and double check our substitution. So the first one I put in was minus 2 and 0. So y is 0, 0 did I put in minus 2 or plus 2 first?
When you
Yeah, did I like mix up my signs when I substitute it in? So what I'll do is I'll put in the minus 2 first. So that would be 0 minus 4. And then that's 0 and 0, and that's minus 2, which is positive 2. So that's minus 2. And then I'll put in the positive 2 next. So that's 0 plus 4 over, that would be 0. There's my problem, no one noticed it. Cos 0 is not 0. It's 1. So it's minus 4 over 3 plus 2, which is 5. And then here, it'll be 3 minus 0, and then at the end, there should be a minus x, but I said x is 2, so there's a minus 2, so that's actually 4 over 1, which is just 4 then. There are my two slopes. But he wants the tangent line, so I need to find the c now. So first one, y.
3 minus, 3 plus 2.
This is a minus here, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, you need, no, it's okay, you need Albert, isn't it?
Yes, Albert and then Mustafa. Mustafa, you're there. Mustafa first.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay.
It's just I finished the meeting very late.
That's okay, that's okay, that's okay. Alright, so firstly, while you're asking me the sign, is that okay? It's okay. So firstly, I'll put in the minus 4 over 5. Hey, what happened? What did I miss?
She said the class thing.
Huh? She was saying what? Sure. Really?
Not me, the class.
She was pointing at you.
She wasn't. Dude, you smelt yourself? It's like you haven't showered like 3 days, man.
Ignore. Okay, continue. So, what did I say the slope for the first one was? Minus 4 or 5. Okay. Now I have to substitute in my point. So I said I'll do the negative one first. So that is 0 equals, so minus 4 times minus 2. That'll be 8 over 5 plus c. So the c is negative 8 over 5. So that's the first one.
The first one is negative 2 or 2?
Negative 2 I'm doing first. And then the next one I'll do is positive 2. So what was the slope for that one? 4. Now I put in my point again. 0 equals 8 plus c. So c equals minus 8. So there are my two tangents. And that answers part 3. And now part 4 is he wants to know where they meet. So I make them equal to each other. So I get minus 4 over 5x minus 8 over 5 equals 4x minus 8. So I get 8 minus 8 over 5 equals 4x plus 4 over 5. So that's 16, 5, 21 over 5x. And this will be 32 over 5. So that means x is 32 over 21. For goodness sake, double check that.
Mr. Stephen, can I just ask you for part 3?
Well, I just want you to check this here, please.
You know, I think you want us to tell you you're right. That's
No.
what you asked.
I'm not going to be arrogant to assume I've just done all that mental calculation correctly. I'd like you to check it.
Then I have 5, whatever.
I like that actually. Yes. Mhm.
It's correct.
Is it?
I think it must be.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Is it right? Yes?
Okay.
See,
Oh, yeah.
you just want us to.
So the certificate answer.
Yes. Now, what was your question?
Part 3, we
He-
got the slopes from
The part 2, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but are we using the same points for the same slope? that
Oh
we
yeah,
have?
yeah. It's the same
So
point.
we can't just.
Choose any point or
Yeah.
no. He's quite clear. It's the 2 points he mentions in the first
Yeah,
part.
but I mean for MA, this, the first slope, we chose minus 2 and 0. So, and when we're trying to find C, we just use the same one.
Oh yeah, you have to keep it the same. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. Now that's not quite finished yet.
So what is this question?
Find where the two tangents meet. So, 1 second please, let me finish my sentence, then I'll... Find where the two tangents meet. So I found the x, but in fact what am I missing still? The y. So I substitute that into this one, 4x minus 8. So 4x minus 8, 20, 40, 60, what's that going to be? 81 minus 32, 8, 4, 48, 48 over 21 or something?
So wait,
Can I ask you something, Steve?
Wait, is it 48 over 21 or not?
Negative 40.
Negative 48.
Negative 40 over 21.
Okay. Negative 40 over 21. Okay, what's your question, Mohammed?
what's that?
No,
Oh, sorry, you had it.
I got that one actually 1.3 because I got that 24x equal to 32. Well, can it be you forgot to write 508 there in the second?
Here.
Look at second line. Yeah.
Here.
No, second.
Here.
Yeah.
500 which 8?
First 8. There should be 500.
This one.
Yeah.
Why would there be 500 this? Because that comes from here.
Yeah. First equation.
I took that over to the left. That's it there. Kept that on the left. Took that to the right. I added this to this and hopefully got this one correct.
No, it should be 24 actually.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah, okay.
Then it will, at the end it will become 24x equal to 32.
Here's 24.
Yes. So the answer is 1.3.
So here's 24.
Yeah, it should be.
So here is 24. And then here,
1.3. X.
decimal please.
Oh,
A fraction.
Forward.
is it y?
Forward
You're
three.
asking y?
Yes.
I don't know.
Please.
What was that?
We're
Let me
talking
watch.
about another math examiners.
24.
It's
Okay.
it's minus 2.8.
You said 21.
21.
Hang on. What I've just been discussing for the last 2 minutes, which I guess you weren't listening for.
I'm asking about the next one, not the 21 or 24. That
Yes.
you.
This one.
No.
This one.
After the bracket.
Yeah, I'm writing that down. Right here, is it?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, I'm writing that right now. Yes. Somebody just typed it in the calculator. What is it? Negative. Thank you.
2.8.
Yes, but I prefer fractions. Right. Number 2 now.
So you could bring my parents when you tell me gibberish.
Just to make it clear what you did in the last step.
Here, I just substitute. Hey, get quiet now. I substitute my x into one of my y equations to get the y. Any equation. Now, we'll look at number 2 next.
Maybe you want to get some coffee?
No,
Oh, Bastard, you forgot to.
no, I said for him to come back in 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Number 2 now. So, first question is, you're given a curve and you're told that the minimum on the curve is this point, -2, -3. And they want you to describe some transformations. So the first one is y equals fx minus 3. So what does this do?
Y equal what? FX?
Yeah, it moves,
It moves it vertically down.
yes, moves the graph down
down vertically.
3 units
Down.
down the y-axis.
Still,
Yes.
can we find out that this answer by using the calculator by drawing the graph?
You could. The problem is he doesn't tell you what the fx is. He only tells you a point on it.
Okay, I'll assume any point and then substitute 3 y equal x, then I'll do it like x minus 3.
You mean something like on the calculator, I suppose, if you want, you could say y, when x is minus 2, would equal f of minus 2 minus 3. But f of minus 2 is here, so minus 3 is minus 6. But I don't think that makes things clearer. So I would have said it just moves down the y-axis, so it moves to here. Minus 2, minus 6. You just move it down. The next one now is y equals f of 2x plus 3. Okay.
Have a nice weekend.
I'll try. Y equals f of 2x plus 3.
It compresses it by 2.
Yeah, it compresses it by 2 in the x
And takes it up 3 units.
and raises in the y 3 units. So let's write that down. Moves the graph up the y-axis by 3 units and compresses along the x-axis, that looks like a y, the x-axis by 50% or by 2 units. So if I was looking at my point, what was the original point? Minus 2 and minus 3. Well, what would the y become? That's easy. 0. And what would the x become? Minus 1.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Why?
No, really, it's a secret.
Isn't it supposed to be the opposite?
No, compress.
Yeah.
Yes.
That f2x plus 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you put minus 2 on the x, will be much more.
Why?
No, the 2 in front of the x makes it shrink. We did this in semester 1 with our sine graphs.
Mr.
Yes.
Yeah. If it was, for example, compresses along the x-axis by 5 units, you multiply by 5.
You mean divide by 5 if it compresses? Oh, you mean in the function? Yeah, multiply 5, yeah.
Multiply the point by 5.
Yes. There'll be a 5x.
No, negative 2 and negative 3 becomes negative 10.
No, you divide by 5. Compressing means divide.
Oh, so you multiplied by a half.
Half.
Are you asking me what you multiplied by? Yeah, multiplied by a half.
So you do it 1 over the actual number beside that.
Yes.
And if it's expansion,
So expansion would be you'd be multiplying by a half in the x, like a half x.
like for example, if it was
Shh, hey, look,
Yes, sir.
not everybody in this room is a genius.
Like me.
Yes, something like that. When one person is asking me a question, it's highly likely somebody else doesn't know the answer and has the same question. So if somebody is asking me a question, that is not your cue to start talking to your friend. Because what will happen is you will ask me the same question in 5 minutes and you'll just end up making me angry. So if someone's asking me a question, you should think, is this something I do or do not know? And you listen. So what Shug is asking me and what Mustafa is asking me is, why is it that 2x means compressing? Or what do you do when you're talking about multiplying and dividing?
no.
So, well, let me explain, and I'm sure you get the answer.
No, I thought
So-
it was expansion, not compression.
Okay, sir.
But
I
I'm
don't
going
know
to
your
do
question.
both. Now, if it's 2x, if the number is more than 1, it means you're compressing.
Yes.
And you divide by the number in front of the x. So, for example, 2x divide by 2, 3x divide by 3, 4x divide by 4. If you had a fraction less than 1 in front of the x, for example, a half x or a quarter x, that means you expanded. So a half x means you multiply by 2. A quarter x multiply by 4, etc. That's how you take care of the number in front of the x.
Didn't you have a video on one of this lesson that we took before?
Yeah, I think so.
Because
Yeah, there is one for this, I think. Yeah. Okay. Part 3 now. Y equals 5fx plus 1. So, what is the effect of the x plus 1?
It stretches it.
Well, no, this one first, x plus 1.
It moves it to the left by 1 unit.
Yeah, and the 5?
It compresses it by 5 units, and the y.
No, it expands it by 5.
Oh, the y is the opposite.
Yes. So expand along y by 5 units and move left along x by 1 unit. So our original point will become, what is it, minus 2 minus 3. So I move it to the left.
Minus 1.
So I get minus 3. And then it's 5 times bigger on the y.
Okay, yeah. It's on the y-axis. The same rules as the x-axis for expansion and compression.
No, you just seen there, it's not. If you multiply by 5, you do actually make it 5 times bigger.
So for the y-axis, if it's expansion, you multiply by the number.
Yes.
If it's compression, you divide.
Yes.
Okay, same as the x I'm saying.
No, I just explained the x is the opposite of that. When you multiply by a number, you do not make it bigger, you make it smaller. For example, multiplying by 2 means you compress it by 2 units, so you divide by 2.
No. In the compression, you divide by the number. That's what I'm saying. For the x-axis.
You're not being clear and I need to move on. I'm sorry.
No, but this is important. This is my question since semester 1. You have to answer.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Senior, you know what?
Hey, listen, please. I find myself repeating myself a lot. So I'll explain for one last time how these compression and expansions work. In the x-axis, when you have a number multiplying the x, like 2x, it means you compress, so you divide by 2. If you have a number like a half x, it means you expand, so you multiply by 2. In the y-axis, it is exactly what you expect though. If you have a 2, it means you expand and you multiply by 2. If you have a half, it means you contract and you divide by 2. Or if you prefer to say it another way, you multiply by a half.
So it's the opposite.
It's recorded.
So,
And you have notes on this from semester 1 also and semester 2.
so may you print it down again, please?
The notes are probably on Moodle.
Sir,
The
okay,
notes are
one
probably
question.
on Moodle.
Sir,
Yes.
how about if it's just 1? I mean, just x.
Then nothing happens.
Nothing happens?
It stays the same. It neither compresses or expands.
But it's more than 0.
No, but I never said anything about 0. I said if it's more than 1
Oh,
or less than 1. I said nothing about more or less than 0.
alright.
Okay? Yes.
Mr. Steven,
Yes.
for x-axis, when you plus 1, why do you move to the left instead of moving to the right?
Now, we talked about this first time around we did it. The x is exactly opposite of what you expect. The reason is, like for example, take my example of 2x. When you multiply x by 2, what you're doing is you're making the graph go faster through the x-axis. It goes twice as fast. So this makes the graph look like it reaches its point sooner, so it compresses it. If you did plus 1, I'll give you a very, very, very simple example, okay? Let's take this very simple graph, y equals fx, which equals x squared. So here's the graph here of it, okay? Now, if I was to look at y equals fx plus 1, if I put x equals 0, what do I get for y? I get f of 1, which equals 1. So that means my 0, 0 point has now moved to 0, 1, which is here. And that only happens because it looks like the graph is moved to the left. So my point is, if you pick a graph as an example and put in some of these rules, you will see the result of it moving to the left. Okay, too much time on this. I'm moving on to the B part of this question. So B part, you're given px equals x minus 3, and you're given qx equals x squared minus 2x plus 5. This question is 7 marks. It has 3 parts. The first part is calculate PQ of 2 and QP of 2. So I put 2 into Q. 2 squared, 4. 4 minus 4, 0. Plus 5, 5. So that's P of 5. And now I put 5 into P. 5 minus 3, 2. Now you do the other one, Q of P of 2. So I put 2 into P, 2 minus 3, minus 1. And then I put minus 1 into Q. Minus 1 squared is 1, plus 2 is 3, plus 5 is 8. So I just substitute them in each time.
So sir, you substitute negative 1 in P,
Yes.
so it will be negative 4.
Minus 1 squared is 1. Minus 2 times minus 1 is positive 2.
Okay,
2
that's
plus
Q,
3.
That's Q, not P. Right?
Oh, sorry. I put it, it's right. I just wrote a Q instead of a P.
You're a P instead of a Q.
I'm getting my P's and Q's mixed up. I substitute into the right one though.
Yeah, because you're always right, Mr. Right.
These are the correct answers here.
Yes.
Now, number 2. In number 2, they want you to solve P of Q of X equal to Q of P of X.
Sir, we'll do it one day.
Well, you go ahead and do it. P of Q, and what's Q? X squared minus 2x plus 5 equals Q of P, and what's P? I said x minus 3. Now, I put this into P. So when I put this into P, I get x squared minus 2x plus 5 minus 3. And I put this into Q, and when I put that into Q, I get x minus 3 squared minus 2 times x minus 3 plus 5. Yes?
Minus 3.
Sorry, what is that?
You forgot minus 3.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because you substituted D.
I substitute x minus 3 into Q. That looks right. And then I substituted x squared minus 2x plus 5 into P.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both fine. Okay?
You stop here?
No. You want to solve it. But it's not going to be difficult to solve because what type will it make?
Quadratic.
Quadratic. So looking at the left, I get x squared minus 2x plus 2 equals x squared minus 6x plus 9 minus 2x plus 6 plus 5. Now let me scroll down. Nicely, actually, it doesn't turn out to be a quadratic because it looks like the x squareds cancel.
Yeah.
So I get minus 6x minus 2x is minus 8x plus 2x is minus 6x. So I get 9 plus 6 is 15 plus 5 is 20 minus 2 is 18. So I get x equals 3. And then part 3 is ridiculously easy. He wants the inverse of P. So if you remember how to find the inverse of P, what you do is you write y equals x minus 3. And then how do you find the inverse? Yeah, you solve for x. So what does x equal here? Y plus 3. So the inverse function for P is just equal x plus 3. Very good, Jeff. And that is only 1 mark.
So when they say inverse, they need x.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So x equals.
This all is. Oh, this.
Number 6?
You have to go slowly.
Yeah, well I need to do number 4. I need to do 4 questions. I've only done 2, haven't I?
Sure.
Huh?
Maybe. Okay. Yeah.
It's not about this one, but I would just ask, do we get questions about equations and identities?
Yes, but they're very rare.
It's so hard.
The trigonometry ones. Yeah, but they're very. Yeah, but they're quite rare. They don't come up too much. But we'll do these when we come across them. Yeah. But in fact, I think those come up in question 3 maybe, or I don't know. We'll look at when we get to it. I'm going to do number 4 next.
Sir, rest 1 minute.
No, I am the one doing these for you.
We are
You
thinking
don't
of
need a
that.
rest. If anyone needs a rest, it's me, and I don't
Okay,
want a
I'm
rest.
telling you, have a coffee so we can.
No, because I want to finish this. Okay?
Yes.
In fact, I'm already behind because I'm doing this because the other some students didn't show up for class.
Because you love us.
Smart.
Some outrageously smart students, brilliant students, didn't show up for class. Now, I'm going to do
What's 4? What's this now?
Mohammed, the cap, please. Thank you.
Is this B4?
So this is number 4 in section B, which is the vector question.
B4, I mean.
Yes, B4. So, yes, they give you the first one here. The first vector is 4 minus 7, 0, plus lambda, and then you have 1 minus 1 minus 1, and then the second line, hey, come on, Mohammed,
Yes, sir. Okay, I'm sorry.
I am doing this, hey, no, I don't have to do this, okay, I'm doing this and I'm recording this, and I'm trying to help you get a good grade,
Yeah, I swear, I know. Just so far.
so focus here.
Yeah.
I haven't even written down what the question is asking you yet, okay? So the first one is this, and then the second line is this one, plus mu, and then you have an A, a minus 3, and a B. So the lambda and the mu are like the T that I use in class. The first one is, the two lines are perpendicular. Yes, it's a B at the end there. And an A, yes, that's the problem. Now, the first question is, listen please. The first question is, show that B minus A equals 3 if they're perpendicular. So I start off, these lines are perpendicular, so who can tell me what that means?
No, equals to 0.
What?
B minus A minus 3.
Show that B minus A equals 3 if they are perpendicular. They are perpendicular. So what does that mean? Who can tell me? And give me a full sentence,
When
please.
the R1 times R2
Yes, equals 0. So, what vectors do I use in my calculation of that dot product? Do I use the whole thing? No, I just use
Then B minus A.
the AB part, so to speak, or the slope part. So, dotting these together, I get A plus 3 minus B equals 0. Therefore, A minus B equals, well, actually, he wants it the other way around, B minus A. So I'll take them to the right. I get 3 equals B minus A. First question, show that B minus A equals 3. I've done it there in like one line. That's 3 marks. Okay. Part 2 now.